let's get going here. All right. So basically, the foundation, the fundamental foundation of spirituality is to know that there is a difference between two forces that are basically controlling us or living with us, which is simply the body and the soul. The body is totally function different than the soul. Now we need to explain what is it and how is it function. So the body consciousness is basically what your parents create for you. That's a clothing based on gene, DNA, grandparents, parents, everything that comes from your parents passed to you, the good stuff and the bad stuff, unfortunately. Everything for the body. What is the body? The body is clothing. It's basically the clothing that allowing the soul to be express itself. So the soul itself is part of the creator, part of God. So we have the part of God being captured or being covered by the part of your parents. So you have your parents create the clothing for you, when God creating the inner self of who you are, your personality trait, your power, your strength, your desire, your capacity, how much you're capable to receive, what you want to receive, who you are, your spirit, your motivation, that, my friend, come from God. The body is mostly come from your parents. Can we change the body? Well, body has to do with the health, has to do with exercise, has to do with different things. Have to do by treating the body like it's a baby. It's never going to grow up. It just needs to be treated like a baby because it's always going to bother you. If you try to be spiritual, the body will never let you be spiritual because the body will always take you back to a place of what about me? What about me? The body is a victim.com consciousness. It's sad, it's selfish, it's childish, doesn't want to grow, always want to take, always want to eat. Well, the soul consciousness, that's more the part, how can I help? How can I give? How can I love? So we live in a duality. There is a duality of two forces together that living within us that's causing us, my friend, to be in a situation where we are confused. Who are we? And sometimes you're going to feel like you're doing a nice thing, and then the next day you cannot believe you did such a terrible thing. Well, the terrible thing comes from the body. The nice thing that you do comes from the soul. If you have ego on the nice thing you did, then it's also involved with the body. The soul cannot do any bad. The soul can only do good. The body is always toward doing something selfishly all day long. So when we say love the neighbor as thyself, is actually we're telling the body to love the soul as it loves itself. That's actually what we're saying. Love the neighbor as thyself, meaning love the soul as you love yourself. That's what we're telling the body, your neighbor, your soul. Now, let's understand it even deeper. When you make decisions about different things in life, whatever you want to choose, you have to be careful that your choices will not only come from the body consciousness, from the body awareness. Body awareness meaning that you are trusting and connecting to your five senses. And the five senses is basically what controlling your decision that based on the body. So if we talk about just the body consciousness, the body awareness, then everything that do with the five senses will be right. Crossing the street, building a house, you need the five senses, which are part of the body, to build, to make decisions. They are perfect tools of information to help you make better decisions in life, but it's always decisions that relate to the body. When it comes to the soul, it's a little different because when things come to the soul, you have to make decisions that cannot be based just on the five senses. So how do you make decisions? And of course, you can say that I can do it by feeling, I can do it by psychically knowing things, but truly, how do you make your soul speak? How do you make your soul come into term with what we're doing in this world? And the idea is the soul is a beautiful, perfect, pure channel that God put and implanted in us, or maybe I should say the soul was here and just the body of your parents created for you come and clothing that soul, you know? Now, when you want the soul to come into expression, you have to feed the soul. You have to feed it. Now, the way you feed it, as I spoke last week, one of the ways to study spirituality, study Torah and all type of Torah study, doesn't matter what you study. But when you study, you have to remember, you're not studying for intellectual reason. You study the Torah for the sake of feeding the soul, so the soul will be stronger. If you study just for intellectual reason, the soul doesn't get benefit. You have to say, I'm here to feed my soul. That's what I do when I study. Second thing, do good doing. And third, do mitzvot. Remember from last week. So three things feed the soul. When you start feeding the soul getting clear about what to do or what not to do, and how to behave and how to fall in love with it, not to fall in love. So a lot of people want to know what's the secret language of basically practicing from the soul. You can't practice from the soul if you don't feed the soul, because then the soul gets starving. And when the soul is starving, the soul doesn't make a decision, because right away the control has been given to the body. So you cannot just starve the soul like that and just feed up the body. Everybody's busy feeding the body vegan food and all type of food. What a craziness going out there. But the truth of the matter is, people stress out so much about vegan food, they can kill themselves. And the idea is to get into a place where you can actually feed the soul in a way that you can make better decision. Now, the way you know that you make better decision, you start have emotions that are related to the soul. What is the emotion that relate to the soul? Happiness. What is the emotions that relate to the body? Sadness. The body, even if you give the body everything the body wants, food, attention, sex, whatever it is, the body is still miserable. That's how the body functions. Always miserable, always want more. It's never good enough. That's the body. The soul is, how can we love? How can we be together? How can we make sure that my friend make it even before me? That's a soul level. That's a whole different level of consciousness. Because remember, the soul is part of God. It's in Hebrew, chelek elok mima'al. The soul is part of God. So it cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong about love. So if you don't feel happy, in the end of action that comes from the soul, then something is off.